Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. You know, we humans love to think of ourselves as rational beings. We pride ourselves on logic, on deduction, on scientific understanding. But what if I told you that our brains, those very organs we rely on for reason, are constantly playing tricks on us? It's true. The human mind is a fascinating and complex landscape, full of hidden biases and shortcuts that shape how we see the world and ourselves. Over the next few minutes, we're going to journey into the heart of these psychological illusions. We'll uncover 7 mind-blowing facts that will make you question everything you thought you knew about yourself. From the way you make decisions to how you perceive others, get ready for some serious aha moments. So strap yourselves in, get ready for a wild ride, and let's unlock the mysteries of the human mind together. Let's dive in. Have you ever experienced something like this? You learn a new word, maybe a bit obscure, something you'd never heard before. Then suddenly, it's everywhere. You see it in a book, hear it on a podcast, maybe even a friend uses it in conversation. It's like the universe conspired to put that word in front of you. Well, relax, it's not some grand cosmic coincidence. It's what we call the Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon, also known as frequency bias. Our brains are incredible pattern recognition machines. Once you learn something new, your brain becomes primed to notice it. It's like you've tuned your attention to a specific frequency, and suddenly you're picking up on all sorts of signals you might have missed before. Think of it like buying a red car. Before, red cars were just part of the background noise of traffic. Now boom, they're everywhere. The truth is, the frequency of red cars hasn't changed at all. What's changed is your awareness. You've trained your brain to pay attention, and now it's delivering on its promise to find patterns. The Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon is a great example of how our brains are constantly working behind the scenes, shaping our perception of reality. So, the next time you experience the Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon, don't be freaked out. Embrace it. It's just your amazing brain doing what it does best, finding patterns and making sense of the world around you. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like everyone was staring at you, judging your every move, like you were under a giant spotlight, every flaw magnified for the world to see? Don't worry, you're not alone. We've all been there. It's called the spotlight effect, and it's one of the most common and most frustrating psychological biases we humans experience. We tend to overestimate how much attention other people are paying to us. We think we're at the center of everyone's universe, but in reality, most people are too busy worrying about their own lives to even notice that stain on your shirt or that awkward thing you said earlier. The spotlight effect is a classic example of what psychologists call egocentric bias. Knowing about the spotlight effect can help us overcome it. Remember, you're not under a spotlight, you're just another face in the crowd. Now let's talk about a cognitive bias that can be both humorous and a tad frustrating, the Dunning-Kruger effect. Ever met someone who's brimming with confidence, convinced they're an expert in something, but their actual skills leave much to be desired? Yep, that's the Dunning-Kruger effect in action. Named after social psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger, this effect describes a fascinating paradox. People with low ability in a particular area often overestimate their competence, while those who are truly skilled tend to underestimate their abilities. Competence and the ability to recognize competence are two different things. When someone lacks knowledge or skill in a particular area, they may not even be aware of how much they don't know. This lack of metacognition, the ability to think about one's own thinking, can lead to inflated self-assessments. On the flip side, experts, those who have spent years honing their craft, often have a better understanding of the vastness of their field. They know how much there is to know, and this awareness can actually lead to a sense of humility, even self-doubt. The Dunning-Kruger effect can manifest in all areas of life, from driving skills and musical talent to professional expertise, and even social interactions. It can lead to poor decision-making, as people with low competence may take on tasks they're not equipped for, while those with high competence may shy away from opportunities where they could truly shine. So, how do we avoid falling prey to the Dunning-Kruger effect? The key is humility and a commitment to lifelong learning. Cultivate a healthy dose of self-awareness. Be open to feedback, even if it's critical. Remember, there's always room for growth. Chapter 4. The Halo Effect. Let's talk about first impressions. We all know they matter, but do you realize just how much power they hold? The halo effect, a fascinating psychological phenomenon, reveals that our initial judgments of someone can influence how we perceive everything else about them. Imagine this. You meet someone for the first time. They're dressed impeccably with a warm smile and a charming demeanor. You immediately form a positive impression. This person seems great. Now, without even realizing it, you start attributing other positive qualities to them. You might assume they're intelligent, trustworthy, and kind, even though you have no real evidence to support these judgments. That's the halo effect in action. It's like a cognitive shortcut where we take one positive trait, like attractiveness, charisma, or social status, and use it as a proxy for a whole host of other positive qualities. But here's the catch. The halo effect can work both ways. Just as positive traits can create a halo of overall goodness, negative traits can lead to a horns effect, where we assume someone is bad in multiple ways based on a single negative impression. The halo effect highlights the power of first impressions and the importance of being aware of the biases they can create. So, how do we mitigate the halo effect? Be mindful of your own biases. When you meet someone new, try to gather information about them from multiple sources before forming a solid opinion. Chapter 5. The Power of Mirroring. Have you ever noticed that when you're deep in conversation with someone, you might unconsciously start mirroring their body language? You lean in when they lean in, you cross your legs when they cross theirs. You even find yourself matching their tone of voice. This isn't just a coincidence, it's a powerful social phenomenon called mirroring, and it plays a crucial role in building rapport and connection. Mirroring, also known as the Pygmalion Effect, is a subconscious behavior where we subtly imitate the postures, gestures, facial expressions, and even speech patterns of the person we're interacting with. It's our brain's way of saying, hey, I'm like you, we're on the same wavelength, why do we do this? From an evolutionary perspective, mirroring served as a survival mechanism. In our early days as a species, being able to quickly establish trust and cooperation with others was essential for survival. Mirroring signaled to others that we were part of the group, that we shared their values and intentions, and that we were not a threat. Fast forward to today, and mirroring still plays a vital role in our social interactions. Studies have shown that people who are mirrored feel more understood, more liked, and more connected to the person mirroring them. It's a subtle but powerful way to build rapport and create a sense of harmony in any interaction. Chapter 6. The Zeigarnik Effect. Have you ever started a task like writing an email or reading a book only to be interrupted before you could finish? And then, even though the task itself might not be that important, you find yourself unable to stop thinking about it? You keep replaying the unfinished business in your mind, it pops up at the most inconvenient times, and it nags at you until you can finally go back and complete it. Well, congratulations! You've experienced the Zeigarnik Effect, named after Soviet psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik. This phenomenon describes our brain's tendency to remember incomplete tasks more vividly than completed ones. It's like our minds have a built-in to-do list, and those unchecked items just keep demanding our attention. We crave a sense of completion, and when a task is left unfinished, it creates cognitive tension. The Zeigarnik Effect can be both a motivator and a source of stress. Break down large tasks into smaller chunks to create a sense of progress. Develop rituals that signify task completion, like checking off your to-do list. Chapter 7. The Pygmalion Effect. Have you ever heard the saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right? There's a powerful psychological principle at play here called the Pygmalion Effect, and it highlights the incredible influence our expectations have on ourselves and others. Named after the Greek myth of Pygmalion, a sculptor who fell in love with his own creation, the Pygmalion Effect, also known as the Rosenthal Effect, reveals that our expectations can actually shape reality. In essence, when we believe something to be true about ourselves or others, we unconsciously behave in ways that make those beliefs come true. Here's how it works. Our beliefs influence our actions and behaviors. These actions and behaviors then influence the responses of others, which in turn reinforce our initial beliefs. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, where our perceptions shape our reality. The Pygmalion Effect has been demonstrated in numerous studies, most famously in a 1968 experiment by Robert Rosenthal and Lenore Jacobson. In the study, teachers were told that certain students were intellectual bloomers who were expected to make significant academic progress throughout the year. In reality, these students were chosen at random and were no different from their peers. However, at the end of the year, the students who were labeled as bloomers showed significantly greater academic gains than their classmates. The researchers concluded that the teachers' expectations had influenced their interactions with the students, creating a more positive and encouraging learning environment that fostered growth. The Pygmalion Effect has profound implications for how we interact with others, particularly in settings like education, parenting, and leadership. When we believe in someone's potential, we're more likely to provide them with the support, encouragement, and opportunities they need to succeed. Outro: Unlock your mind. So there you have it, 7 mind-blowing psychological facts that reveal the hidden workings of the human mind. From the Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon to the Pygmalion Effect, these insights offer a glimpse into the fascinating and often counterintuitive ways our brains shape our perceptions, behaviors, and interactions with the world. Remember, understanding these psychological principles is not about feeling powerless in the face of our biases. It's about empowering ourselves to become more aware, more compassionate, and more effective in navigating the complexities of human behavior. So which of these psychological facts surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more mind-blowing content.